We mentioned last week on this show that while President Biden hints at more COVID regulations, he continues to let migrants pour over the southern border, thousands of which are refusing vaccinations, according to a CBS News report. Though many in the mainstream media are happy to divert attention elsewhere, the border continues to be a serious reality for those who live near it. Joining us today to discuss is a friend of Save the Nation, Sheriff Mark Lamb of Pinal County, Arizona. Sheriff, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you, Hannah. I appreciate you having me on.
Sheriff, first, give us an update on the border. Has anything changed since the last time you spoke to our viewers? How are residents in your county feeling?
If it's changed, it hasn't changed for the better. It's only changed for the worse. We're going to be entering in as the heat tapers down. We're going to see an influx of trafficking coming through the desert areas into counties like mine. They're going to continue to flood the borders with families, unaccompanied minors. But now I think all of us are a little bit more concerned about what type of people are going to be coming across. Are we going to see terrorists coming across? Have we emboldened our enemies by showing a weakness in our country? I've been saying from the beginning that the border is such an important issue. And one of the reasons why I think it's important, we see it first and foremost now, is when you don't secure your border, it sends the message to those around the world that we're weak. And we saw what happened in Afghanistan now. They just steamrolled through that country because they probably said to themselves, hey, these guys can't even protect their southern border. Why would we ever believe they would stop us from taking over Kabul and the entire country?
So, Sheriff, before we started taping, we mentioned this COVID stuff that's going on and kind of the repercussions in your county as well. But specifically, I want to focus on the Biden administration's suggestion of more COVID regulations potentially being put in place because this recent CBS News report said thousands of migrants are refusing vaccinations. How can the Biden administration defend its position on immigration but still continue to clamp down on Americans' private affairs?
Hannah, that's a great question, and I can't answer that because I don't think like they do. I don't understand that. They're such hypocrites. I've said before that this administration is the administration of hypocrisy. They tell you one thing, but they do another. I just heard the other day that they're not mandating vaccines at the White House. We have no other choice, Hannah, but to believe that this is done on purpose, that it's a design to create chaos in our communities, to allow more and more people to come here, whether it's to shore up their vote for the next election, or whether it's to continue to create chaos for local law enforcement and the American people. I don't exactly know what their intentions are. What I do know is that their policies are failing, especially as it relates to protecting our borders. And COVID is just another example of that they're allowing people to come into this country with COVID. Yet at the same time, they are trying to put more restrictions on Americans for COVID.
So another thing I want to dive into is going to be some of the drug trafficking that's happening across the border. I know you have certain concerns about that within your own community and across the country as well. Do you think that drug trafficking will change or grow because of the Biden administration's approach to immigration?
Drug trafficking is blowing up. This is huge for the cartel. Not only are they making tons of money on the bodies they're bringing across, because we're bringing the clients right to the doorstep of the cartel. The cartel's making as much money off of the bodies as they are off of the drugs. But they're bringing more and more drugs into our communities because we're not stopping them. We're not turning them away. And the problem is these drugs are dangerous drugs, very dangerous to our communities, like methamphetamines and fentanyl. Fentanyl are killing people in our communities, and they're going to be killing people across America every day the longer we leave this border open. That's why as sheriffs, we're standing together under Protect America Now. We're working to uphold the rule of law. We are fighting against bad policies like what we're seeing with the border. And we're standing up for the Constitution and the constitutional rights of the American people. And we're going to stop these drugs. Come hell or high water, we're going to do the best we can.
Well, Sheriff Lamb, thank you so much for giving us an update. We always appreciate having you on. And of course, we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you, Hannah. I appreciate it.
President Biden has pushed legislation with quite a hefty price tag, but how does he plan to pay for it? Brandon Arnold, Executive Vice President of the National Taxpayers Union, will join us next to discuss.